We are going to start talking about our story. Please take me for a walk. Remember, good readers use the words and the pictures on the page to visualize what's happening in the story. Visualizing is making pictures in your mind, and it helps us to better understand the story. So let's see how we can visualize a little bit in this book. When I look at the cover, I see a dog holding a leash. I've seen dogs walking in my neighborhood, so in my mind, I can picture the dog walking to the park. I can picture how excited my dogs are when they get to go for a walk. And I can picture myself walking the dogs down the road and the way they walk in front of me. So as I read, I'm going to make more pictures in my mind to help me understand the story a little bit better. I read, some neighbors like to pet me, and I see a girl reaching out to pet the dog. I see the dog looking at the cookie, and I can imagine the dog really wanting that cookie and what the dog would look like. Look, he's even licking his lips. I can imagine him jumping to try to grab that cookie because that's what a dog would probably do, isn't it? Maybe I think that's why the dog wants to go for a walk because he knows that there might be a little girl there with a cookie for him. So that's how we visualize things. Now, this is a fantasy story. Remember, a fantasy includes events that were made up for the art by the author. It didn't really happen. And it includes events that can't happen, such as animals talking, because we would never hear animals talking in real life. So let's look at some of the characteristics of this book that make it a fantasy. The text says that the dog chases away the neighbor's cat. Well, dogs really do chase cats in real life, but this particular dog and cat are made up characters in this story. They're not a real dog and cat. And we can kind of tell that by the way they're drawn. It's not a picture you would take with a camera. You see the way the dog is drawn and cat is drawn. They're kind of made up. They're not exactly like you would see them in real life. Here we read that he wants to send the birds back to their nests. Now in real life, yes, a dog might chase birds, but a dog cannot actually talk to people and tell them, I want to send the birds back to their nest. Okay, the only thing dogs do in real life is what? They bark if they want to say something. So they can't talk. So some of the events in fantasy stories will never, ever, ever happen in real life. Look at the dog and the squirrels here. I'm going to circle those. Here's the dog and here's the squirrel. Now dogs might really chase squirrels up the tree in real life, but look at this dog. Look at, I'm getting a different color here. Look at his eyebrows. Do dogs usually have eyebrows in real life? No, that's just silly. So we know this is a fantasy because my dog sure doesn't have eyebrows. Does your dog or your neighbor's dog have eyebrows? No. So that's some of the characteristics of fantasy stories. We're going to read the story. Here we go.
Please Take Me for a Walk by Susan Gall.
Remember, since this says by Susan Gall, and it doesn't give a second person as an illustrator, that means Susan Gall wrote the words and drew the pictures. She is both the author and the illustrator of this story.
Please take me for a walk. I need to chase away the neighbor's cat.
What character do you see on this page right here? Characters are the people in the story or the things in the story. In this case, the character is the dog, and he looks friendly and excited like he wants to go for a walk. What character do you see over here? You see the dog, but you also see the cat, don't you? And the dog looks really excited to be chasing that cat, but the cat sure doesn't look happy. Let's reread this sentence.
I need to chase away the neighbor's cat.
Which sentence or which word in the sentence begins with the k sound? Cat. And the word cat begins with that letter C that makes the k sound.
Send the birds back to their nests. And keep the squirrels high up in the trees.
So I read that the dog likes to keep squirrels high up in the trees. In my mind, I can picture the dog running to the tree and jumping at the squirrels, and I can see him barking. He's very excited. I think the squirrels are probably scared of the dogs. So that's how I'm visualizing some of this in my mind as I'm reading.
Please take me for a walk. I like to greet the people on my street.
Now, the setting of a story is where the story takes place. So, where does this story take place? Look at the pictures. The words say, I like to greet the people on my street. And you can see in the picture a street and sidewalks in a neighborhood. And I can see that the neighborhood houses and people are in the picture. I also heard the words people on my street. So I'm thinking that this takes place on a street and sidewalks in a neighborhood.
Some neighbors like to pet me, and some neighbors do not.
Here I see a boy crying, and I think maybe he is scared of the dog. The dog looks a little sad. I think that he doesn't want to scare the boy, and he's a nice dog. I'm thinking he wants to be friends with the boy, and he's really sad that he scared him.
Please take me for a walk. I want to say hello to...
So let's see who the dog wants to say hello to.
The florist, the greengrocer, the baker, the bookseller, and my special friend, the butcher.
So what different settings do we see on this page? We see a flower shop where the florist is. We see a market where the greengrocer is. We see a bakery where the baker is. We see a bookstore where the bookseller is. And we see a butcher shop, a shop that sells, and a market that sells meats and poultry. And that is where his special friend, the butcher, is. Look at that picture. What does the dog have in his mouth? He has a bone. Why do you think that he calls the butcher his special friend? Probably because the butcher gives him bones and the dog likes the bones. So that's why he thinks he's his special friend.
Please take me for a walk. I like to watch the kids in the schoolyard.
Do you see the word I in that last sentence? It's right here. I like to watch the kids in the schoolyard. Remember, the letter I is always capitalized when we use it by itself, when it's a sight word.
The guys shooting hoops. And the people playing chess. Please take me for a walk. I could catch a ball for you.
So what are some events that have happened so far in the story? The dog's been asking to do what? To go for a walk. And he's been thinking about all the places he could visit in the neighborhood. See, he's still here in this picture with his leash. He's still saying, please take me for a walk. And he's thinking in his mind of everyone he could visit in the neighborhood.
Retrieve a disc. And race you to the water fountain.
So look at this page and race you to the water fountain. What punctuation mark ends the sentence on this page? It's a period, isn't it?
Please take me for a walk. I want to feel the wind lift my ears.
So how is the dog feeling? And what pictures can you make in your mind to help you figure this out? The dog is feeling really excited about the possibility of going for a walk. He really wants to go, doesn't he? In my mind, I can picture the wind pushing his ears up.
And the sun warm my belly.
Now I can picture the sun making everything warm and hitting his belly and making it feel warm.
Please take me for a walk so I can meet other dogs.
There are many dogs in this picture right here. Can you find the dog that's the main character? He's not in this picture, is he? We have to go back a page to find him. He's right there looking at those dogs. So we see dogs on this page. We see dogs on this page and dogs on that page. It sounds like there's a lot of dogs that go through the neighborhood that he could meet.
And other dogs can meet me.
And so why is the dog happy now? Because he might be going for a walk, right? And he might be meeting his other dog friends.
Please take me for a walk so everyone can see my best friend and me.
So who do you think the dog means is his best friend? Who do you think the dog's best friend is? Do you think maybe it's his owner? The person who that he wants to take him for a walk? I'll bet it's his owner. I'll bet that's the dog's best friend because the dogs are always happy to see their owner when they come home. A best friend is a friend that is a very, very good friend who you like to spend a lot of time with. Now, we can have all kinds of friends, but a best friend are things we might tell our best friend something that we wouldn't tell any of our other friends because we know that we're really close to them, we're really good friends with them, and we know that usually best friends will not tell things that we tell them, especially if we ask them not to. And so maybe, and it's not bad things, it's good things. Maybe you're telling your best friend, I'm bringing in a really nice surprise for everyone in the classroom at the Christmas party, but I don't want them to know what it is yet. I'll tell you what it is, but we have to keep it a secret. So it's good secrets and stuff that we tell our best friend that they don't tell other people. Why do you think the author wrote this story? Maybe she wanted to see the leader, to help the leader see places in the neighborhood. And she wanted to show a fun story about a dog and places the dog could visit in the neighborhood. Thank you for reading this book with me today, boys and girls.